Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Five Boys in a Business, the Five Boys in a Business podcast. I'm Richie King.
Emily King.
This is a podcast where we talk. Oh, and Katie Ray.
Hi, I'm back.
Katie Ray.
Yes.
This is a talk business podcast. God, I'm blowing it already. We talk about our business, family, and the many shenanigans involved. You can catch the podcast live on Facebook and Instagram around 10:30ish every Monday morning, or you can listen to it on all podcast services: iTunes, Google Podcast, coolpodcast.com.
Okay. Yep. You got it. Keep going.
Also, be sure to check out our merch store. We have super comfy long sleeve and short sleeve all-star shirts, along with our new winter stocking hats. So, today we have.
Why aren't we wearing a hat?
Katie Ray.
Harrison Branch. We need a hat.
Hey.
The only Katie Ray. Katie Ray was with us for almost 4 years as a registered veterinary technician, and worked her way up to become director of surgery, where she destroyed.
And treatment. Thank you.
And treatment. After time at All-Star came to a close,
AKA
she
surgery.
ventured off to achieve one of her lifelong dreams to become a full-time yoga instructor. Katie is a yoga connoisseur and has been loving her time at the Hot Room, where she teaches a plethora of yoga classes. She's a woman of many talents. We're so glad to have her back on the podcast. Welcome, Katie Ray.
Thank you.
Yay! Welcome. I was going to try and sing
welcome.
for you, but
Welcome.
I can't do it. So we were already telling stories, and I'm crying. So
Already
I was
crying.
when I laughed so hard.
Already crying.
And I was already crying because Richie was telling us stories. So
Very good
that's how we
stories.
started out this morning.
Yeah.
So tell us what you've been doing recently, in the
Recently.
past, since you've been gone.
What are
my
the
God.
current
loaded
events
question.
with Katie Ray? What are
Yeah.
Current events. I'm having a baby,
they? All right.
There's a
which
baby.
some people already know.
Yeah.
6
Babies
months
due.
today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Due date is March 30th.
Harrison,
And
that's
it's
really close to your birthday.
I'll make them pop out on March 17th.
It's a girl.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's a girl.
We're having a girl.
Since it's a girl, we have a name suggestion for you.
Yes.
Oh,
Proceed.
we
a lot.
yeah.
I've had lots of suggestions.
Have you gotten have you envisioned what she's going to look like?
I was actually talking about that last night because
So we were glad that Eric he shared with us an ultrasound picture.
Eric's having
Put it back up there, Harrison.
what is that, a
There
Viking?
she is. Look at her. She's
Look
got
how
her
cute
Viking
she
hat.
is.
Now the helmet, I don't know what to tell you about that. Delivery could be tough.
That would make sense for the
Oh,
aggressive punching I have been feeling is probably the hat.
It's the helmet.
No, I get it.
because, Eric, the reason we had that drawn out that way.
We thought it was going to be a boy.
Does she have a mustache? Yeah,
I think she might have a mustache.
I mean, she could. We don't know.
Facial hair could be a problem.
So,
Although
yeah.
her dad's a pro. Her dad has lots of facial hair.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
If he
yes,
needs, if
exactly.
she needs a subscription to Hims or dollarshaveclub.com, I'm sure that he's got it covered.
He's got it covered.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, he does have it covered. It's actually funny that you're talking about because we were talking about it last night because I was like, I just can't wait to see what she's gonna look like.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes I look at Nala, my dog, and I'm like, she's literally the cutest thing I have ever seen in my whole life. Like the cutest thing. So I was like, Eric, how am I going to think that something else is cuter? I know that it'll probably happen because everybody says that, but
Right.
like, how?
Yeah.
And I know I'm talking about my dog right now, but like, she's seriously the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
I think there is pre and post kids.
Yep.
I think when and even during pregnancy, I think I was talking to Eric about this at the party. I remember when we found out we were expecting Harrison, not sleeping that whole night because you're just like, oh my gosh, because it's a life change. It's wonderful. It's joyous.
Sure.
But it's a very catalyst is the wrong word. It's a straight line. You're here and then you're here. Then you're a parent. Someone's calling you dad. That's a
Right.
big responsibility. But I know with Harrison and the rest of our kids, it's such a joint thing that it's part of both of you. So of course, it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure that once you meet her, then you'll feel that same way.
Yes, Eric says that he wants her to have my looks, but his personality, which means she'll look like Eric and she'll be a rage monster like myself. For sure.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great.
I just don't want her to be 7 feet tall. Eric was like, why not? And I was like, I feel, and I could be wrong, that a 7-foot woman might be bullied a lot, right?
Or she's gonna
Not for
bully.
long.
or she's gonna bully. Yes,
she'll be just fine.
So I was like, but I picture if we have 2 kids, if we have a boy and a girl, our girl will be 6'5" like her dad, and our boy will be 5'3". Like, that's what's gonna happen.
It's funny.
You're exactly right. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
We went to a basketball reunion about 10 years ago or so, and I met some of Emily's classmates, and a few of them were very tall, and they married like very tall people, and their kids were ridiculous. They're like giants. Remember they were standing next to Harrison, like 2 heads ahead. I was like, yeah, you're gonna be whatever. There's no chance you can't be 8 feet tall. So
yeah. So see, you never know though. What the possibilities, the doors that will open.
That was my second question right after they said it was a girl at our anatomy ultrasound. I was like, is she normal sized? And they were like, yep, she's right.
They show you the graph,
right on
it's
par
like
for
all
average.
here.
Yeah. So she was like somewhere already between like the 44th and like 75th percentile. And I was like, I can deal with that. Because Eric was almost 11 pounds. And I was like, I will die.
I will not deal with that.
I will die.
Yes.
that's a big old.
Yeah. So I just hope that she does not outgrow the womb before she's out.
That could be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you'll be fine.
My doctor said it would be fine.
It'll be fine. They're meant to stay in there. It's all good.
It's cool.
Yeah, they're designed a certain way,
Yeah.
and then they'll just do all the growing afterwards.
Yes.
It is amazing though with the kids when you take them to the doctor annually and they start to chart their progress, how accurate that curve is.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, you're going to be X or whatever, and then that's about right. So
Yeah, that's what we've seen with our kids anyway.
somewhat
is that
depressing when you go,
They do
okay.
that, and they'll chart them out, and the kids about maybe 7th grade with the boys, they've always had an interest in knowing, where am I going to be? Like, how tall do you think I'm going to be? Or something like that. And then the doctor will say, okay, based on the way you've been growing, you're probably going to reach this height or something like that. And then, of course, their collective is always like, I'm only.
Well, then they have Calvin, and he shows me the chart. He goes, let's talk about martial arts. When you talk about personal defense.
Calvin's so little for his, but anyway, yeah, they've been accurate so far. I mean, about where they're going to be.
Nice.
The only one that got
it's
wrong was
interesting.
Harry because he kind of peaked, and they had predicted a little bit larger, but he kind of petered out. I mean, in terms of height.
You just petered out, Harrison. Way to
Well,
peter.
I mean, you're
You really
tall.
just-
You're taller than I am, but they had said like
Petered out.
6'3".
You really just didn't make it to your full potential. You really just stopped early.
You just stopped. It's over. Just turn in the keys.
Just-
and be
yeah.
done.
So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's always amazing too when you go to the doctor and you can hear a baby obviously getting their shots because they just let loose.
Yeah.
it's the worst.
I think one of the coolest things though when I was pregnant was like hearing their heartbeat. That's cool.
Yes.
And then of course once you have an ultrasound, you can actually you can visualize.
Yeah.
What they look like or whatever. And then of course after you have a second child and you knew what that child looked like on the ultrasound, then you even get even a better idea, or it's even
Right.
easier to
makes sense.
visualize. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, their profile looked like this, and that's what the other one's profile looked like, or I don't know. Your brain has a tendency to just run with it.
Sure.
Sometimes they'll
in
give you
terms
thumbs up or
of thumbs up.
smile at you.
When we had our anatomy scan, she put her hand up and did one of these things. She curled her fingers in and then back up.
It's so cute.
It is cute. I
really
was like,
cool.
oh my god, Eric, she waved, and he was like, she was just moving her hand, and I was like, let me have this.
They look at you and go, it's not the Viking way.
Oh gosh, that's funny.
Yep.
So, how's it been going with yoga, teaching yoga, pregnant, and all that jazz? And all
It's
that?
gone very, very well, and I feel super blessed to be able to still practice and still teach and keep up somewhat of my normal schedule. So before, when I was teaching and working here, it was between the two, 50, maybe 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And that was super normal, nonstop running, right?
Right.
Well, then first trimester hit and I could not maintain what I was doing, right? So I was barely making it to 40 hours, which now I see is still a super good blessing.
Right.
Because I was not, luckily, one of those women that got crazy sick during the first trimester, and I could keep working.
You keep doing it, yeah.
So, well into my second trimester, almost into the third, it's gotten a little bit more of a routine down, and I have found the little things that help me. I need to make sure that this is my rest day, or I need to make sure that I eat before I do this, and stuff like that. So, I teach the original hot, Inferno Hot Pilates now, Hot Power Sculpt, and Hot Power Vinyasa. So I teach 4 of the 5 modalities now
That's cool.
in a year of me working there.
That's cool.
So that's pretty sweet. I'm assistant studio manager of the Uptown location. And then I was just accepted into the teacher, trainer, facilitator course for the Hot Power Vinyasa session starting in January.
Okay, that's
awesome.
cool.
So all of my little stars and ladders are like lining up, and it's just like, it's getting there.
It's
So
getting there, yeah.
yeah, all while pregnant. So I feel, again, very blessed.
Yeah, that's really terrific. But it's good though, right? Because what is
Patty Ray said, "Hi, baby girl."
Hi. Was she talking to me or her granddaughter? She was talking to Harrison. Cool. Yeah. Hi, Mom.
it's also though, don't you find that it's easier to work and be pregnant from the standpoint of like your brain is not busy worrying as much. Like you still worry, but you have to think about other things. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you got places you got to be, you got stuff you got to think about, you got deadlines you got to meet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like there's less of that like I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, it helped to remove some of the worry because how can you not worry when you're pregnant about the child? Like I'm
Yes.
just worried all the time. Like you know what I mean? Like
I
it's-
feel like I'm not as worried about the kid in a sense that like, oh, am I gonna make it? Am I gonna do everything okay? I figure also that it's more of a motivation to keep moving.
yeah.
Like I'm still doing handstands, and I'm all like, I have to keep doing handstands while I still can. So I need to keep going to Inferno Hot Pilates while I still can.
Yeah.
And so I think that's helped me maintain my practice, and it's made me feel probably way better throughout the whole thing had I just stopped exercising.
Right.
And then all the benefits and stuff from exercising while you're pregnant are like just like off
Huge,
the charts, like
yeah.
all of those things.
Yeah.
So, and then I also I've had several students that have become pregnant too, and they're like, well, if you can do it, I can do it. So
Right.
now I feel like we've got this like weird like team
Right.
of pregnant chicks at the hot room where we all like
Yeah.
work together and stuff. So
No, it does make a big difference though. You're going to return to function. I don't know if that's the right word, but like faster. Like you know, what I
Yes,
mean, like
yeah.
you're able to, you know, get like you're pregnant, you have the child, and then return to like normal activity, normal function, much
That's what I've
faster
heard.
if you stay active. The
that's what
entire
I've heard.
time,
Yeah,
you know,
especially
so-
with like the core work and stuff, that it can make your delivery faster.
Oh yeah.
So I'm still trying to keep up on that in a healthy, safe way, of course. The Inferno Hot Pilates is the only class that I need to like demo moves. So those I have to get somebody else to demo some of the core work.
Yeah.
Top abs I can do. The low abs I have to be really careful with, so I have to modify the crap out of those, which is normal
Right.
and okay. But my doctor said as long as I feel good, then keep doing it.
That's good.
So yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of controversy around hot yoga and pregnancy because there's just not a lot of research on it. Nobody wants to be like, yeah, you can use me for research. I'll
Right.
threaten my kid's life.
Right.
The small amount of research that's out is there's no increase in body temperature compared to a normal exercise, a normal workout. Like your workout inside the hot room and out of the hot room, both
body-
can
yeah.
raise your body temperature like a single degree.
Right.
So there's no difference. Whereas like in the hot tub or a sauna, it's like there's no escape.
Right.
Right.
So 105 is better than 180. If your doctor says don't practice, don't practice. But my doctor was like, since you're more than used to it, it's fine.
Right.
If it was a new thing that you'd never started before, probably not.
Right.
But just to keep it up. And I think that's helped. I want to know almost like how bad I would feel without it.
Without it.
You know?
Yeah,
Not
for
really,
sure.
but
Right.
like
It's so interesting to see over the decades people change. Like, you know, years ago women would be expecting, and they were always taking it easy, and they were advised to take it easy,
Mm-hmm.
don't exert yourself. Whereas now, like, your level of fitness, are saying keep doing what you're doing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you'll feel better, your delivery will be easier potentially. So it's interesting to see.
Are
how
you
they've made
working
that
out of the
change.
same place? Are you able to stay in the same studio?
Yeah, so I am primarily out of the Uptown studio, which is at 96 in Keystone.
Okay.
That I teach 7 classes a week there. And then I will sub and take classes downtown. Now that we live downtown, I'm there a little bit more often. But I'm primarily like most of the time uptown.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. But it's owned by the same people, by the
Yep.
same. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've
Very
got a lot of really cool things.
Is it two locations they have?
We have 2 locations like up and running right now. We've got Uptown, 96 and Keystone, downtown at New York and Alabama. We also bought a studio up in Chicago. I think it's Glenview area. So that is in transition from what it was into the hot room. North Shore is what we call it. And then we have one in Fishers opening up in probably February.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
That's
so
pretty
yeah,
cool.
It's going to be behind IKEA and Portillo's,
cool.
Top Golf and stuff. So
is that their strategy then? I mean, I'm assuming it's a startup, right? It's not a franchise.
no, it's not a franchise.
So it's just a straight start. So is their strategy then to kind of just open up locations around the local area and then kind of branch out?
Yes. So our mission statement is basically, and I hope I don't totally butcher this. Our mission statement is that life is too short to be stressed out of shape, and uninspired. So in order to reach as many people as we can, as long as we can, then we'll open up a bunch of different studios as long as we're, headed in that path, in that direction. We started the Hot Room Leadership Institute as well to produce different teacher trainings through our own facility, so that we can keep growing our own teachers throughout the whole thing. So, being able to reach as many people as we can has slowly allowed all the different.
Right, that's cool.
So, is there a difference between one hot room? So say somebody doesn't live near 96 and Keystone, and they're like, okay, but I can't. So, in order to go, I always feel like it needs to be easy to be able to get there, to be able to go. You know what I mean? To be consistent at it. And so, are all hot room yogas the same?
Good question.
Or, how do you know if you're looking for a place, it's a good place, or they're not, they know what they're doing, or those kinds of things? Because people who don't know yoga and they just want to get started in it, how do they know, that's where I should go? Or I should avoid this or whatever. So
there's plenty of yoga studios around that have hot yoga, and they heat it to 85, 90. This is a personal joke, not a hot room joke. Right. I have a personal joke that's warm yoga.
Right.
It's not hot. Yoga. It's warm yoga. 90 degrees is warm.
It's tepid yoga.
Yes. So the difference between us and another studio is there's several different things. When it comes to a straight class, classes difference, we have our original hot, which is 105 degrees. It's the most therapeutic yoga in the world. It's 26 postures, 2 breathing exercises. And so if you guys are familiar with Bikram at all.
Oh, yes. We were just talking about that on Netflix.
Yes. I figured that would come up.
Yeah.
So it's basically the Bikram. There's not, as far as I know, there's not another studio in Indiana that offers that sequence.
Okay.
That is seriously so therapeutic. It helps heal old injuries. It helps keep your spine nice and healthy, strengthens every part of your body, increases your flexibility, and it's super good for mental clarification, right?
What about the black diaper? Do you have to wear one of those?
Yeah. The black Speedo diaper. So that's a
Bikram joke.
That you're only going to find that at the hot room for sure. That's probably one of our most popular classes. The other classes that we offer, the Hot Power Vinyasa is probably going to be the most similar to what other studios offer. Right. It's going to have the Warrior Twos, the Down Dogs, and stuff like that. We are inspired by Baptiste yoga. So Baron Baptiste started this form of vinyasa yoga. Similar in the sense that it follows the same, not necessarily set sequence, but you've got different parts of the class that you hit different things to make sure that you have a well-rounded practice for your physical body, your mental body, incorporating all of the things into one, so that you can transform on your mat and off of your mat. So the skills are transferable.
Okay.
That's another reason why we're different. Baptiste is not super common in this area as well. So you can get a vinyasa or hot power vinyasa most places, but if the certain sequence that has proven to be so beneficial, this Baptiste style, we're the only one that's going to have that as well.
Okay.
This is kind of a dumb question, but maybe you could share a little bit about the origins of yoga and how it incorporates the meditative side, but the physical side. Then marry both. Am I correct about that? Okay.
Yeah. So it depends on. And I'm not an expert on the yoga lineage, but it all primarily started in India.
Right.
And there's different gurus and stuff that started this form of practice, and I'm gonna mess it up, but there was a reason that they started it, but now I don't remember what it was.
In general, you mean like just like as a practice, like why it was used?
It was, well, it's been around for like 5,000 years. Patanjali is kind of like he wrote the Yoga Sutras, so you can think of that almost like the guidelines,
right? Like the beginnings.
And and so it's kind of like a set of morals and a code to live by.
Oh, okay.
But it's obviously written a long time ago. No, he wrote it. Oh, geez, I should have brushed up on all of this.
Sorry.
He wrote it 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, and it's been
2 or
around
3.
for 5,000.
That's not that much different.
He's the one that wrote it down, but it's been around for a while.
Right.
So the reason that it's great is because and this is true for probably most forms of yoga, it gets your body moving, and then it links your breath with your movements. So, and then adding the different moves, you can get into weird woo-woo stuff with the chakras and stuff,
right,
where you hold energy in your hips and your belly and your throat and stuff like that. So these different moves help to open the energy centers of the body and help keep everything flowing. Like an example, your inversions and stuff, like your down dogs, headstands, handstands, or even just feet up the wall where you're laying on your back. All of those inversions are good for kind of resetting the body's circulation system and incorporating like a sense of empowerment. It helps link your body and your mind, and it makes you feel strong. So like by repeating those moves with all of the other things, that's where the transformation comes from. Just like any workout, you can't do it once and see the benefits.
Sure.
So the heat adds an extra ability to get deeper into your muscles, and honestly, in the original hot, it's a mental battle. Like if you can be comfortable in the uncomfortable of this room and make it through this room, then it, like the rest of the outside world's not that bad.
Not so bad.
Not that bad.
Is that one of the things that you've experienced? I mean, I know that your yoga practice started from zero. I mean, while you're here, right? And you sort of started to get more and more into it. What transformation did you see within yourself?
So I definitely noticed. I was doing yoga for I don't know, 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
Hot yoga for like 3.
Right.
So when I started to do the hot yoga is when I really started to feel like it wasn't just going through the motions. And each time you go in there, like you can't escape it.
Right.
So you have no choice but to kind of face what's happening.
Right.
Which can be super scary and not always the best. But 9 times out of 10, you'll leave that room feeling better than when you went in, like mentally. And it takes a couple of classes, and it takes a little bit to get in there. For me, it's funny because Eric and I talk about meditation. His meditation like makes him like, it gets him like kind of ramped up, and it kind of opens doors, right? My meditation has to bring me back down because I spiral out of control so often. So the ability to focus on literally just me for 60 minutes and you cannot escape.
Right.
That mental battle makes it more clear on the outside, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So being able to control my anger and emotions and stuff like that has been. I haven't even barely listened to rage music
I know.
in the
Rage
last
music?
like 3 months. Like
yeah.
I've barely listened, but I mean, like there was a like Brittany and I the last like 3 months that I worked here, we just had rage on all the time.
Rage, like what kind of rage?
Oh,
what kind
like,
of music?
Just like the step right before screamo music.
like
like-
death
like-
metal?
Not well. I don't even. I don't even know what.
What's the name of a
genre that is.
group? Just that's
So
all.
like Breaking Benjamin was right at the top of my list. Five Finger
Okay.
Death Punch, Breaking Benjamin.
Because when they were working, I think that it was a way of like channeling, right? Like the stress of the job or the task or and it made like they would comment that because I'd be like,
It made
oh my
me
god,
work
like,
faster.
right? And me,
Yeah.
it was the exact opposite. To me. Like, I was like, I can't concentrate. I can't work. I can't.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, I've never been faster.
She's like, I did a mouth x-ray in like 5 minutes.
One time we were listening to Van Halen on a trip. She goes, "This music is too angry." I
Oh
was
my
like, "What
God.
are you talking about?"
And that's where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't like get into a. And so she would have song lists for me that would be like, you want to listen to this, because she would know what task I was
Right.
working on, and
Right.
then be able to be like, you want Hollow Notes, don't you? And I'm like,
Right.
yep, that's exactly what I need
You know,
right now.
it's
And
You want that
fascinating.
pop shit or Hollow Notes today? Is what I would say.
Mom just put this in the chat.
oh my god, that's hilarious.
What'd you say?
She sent that emoji in the chat.
Which one?
Which one?
It's the embarrassed emoji.
About what?
I don't know. You were talking about rage music.
Oh, the
rage music,
yeah, no, my
What's fascinating to me is that I had this experience yesterday where I took the dog for a walk, and it was just me, and I was listening to this audiobook about habits, and I came back and I had 2 or 3 things on my mind, and I noticed then it's so interesting how your mind is much more complex than you can possibly imagine in terms of how it functions. You can go from this state to this state to this state, and it's probably 5% of its full capacity, which is always fascinating to me about yoga, because I've heard people say, I'll go to yoga and I get in such a relaxed mental state or a focused mental state. It's almost like being on another plane. And I thought, isn't that fascinating that just those the movements and the breathing and the whatever it is can elevate you to that state.
Yeah.
And you can't reach that state consciously just each day. You know what I mean? You have to go
Exactly.
through this ritual,
Yeah.
which kind of goes to the history. I'm sure people
Yes.
thousands of years ago would look for that and say, what is a way to focus our minds and whatever.
Yeah.
Know? So it's cool.
I wish I could remember the reason that, and I'm gonna remember it the second this is over. You know what I mean? I'll blame the baby on this one.
Right.
Baby
Yeah, that's
brain.
right. That's right, baby brain.
Yeah, it's extremely therapeutic, and that's why I want everyone I've ever met to do it for sure. My
cool.
knees
Very
used to
cool.
be like all like I
Really?
used to hyperextend, and my knees would be all jacked up. Gymnastics injuries
Oh.
come back, So through the original hot, my knees have stopped making that noise. It's like
weird.
a click noise, not even like a pop noise, like a click noise. My left kneecap felt like it was like scraping across like the top of
crunchy
my
knee?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
a
got it
crunchy
too.
knee.
Yeah.
And so through the original hot, that's been better. My right pelvis has tilted back, and the left one tilted forward. So I couldn't back bend for like 8 months, like if that, like maybe even longer. So now I'm able to start incorporating like that back bends back into my life
cool.
because of
Yeah.
a healthy practice.
Yeah.
I think
That's
it's
awesome.
fascinating though too as I get older, and I see the value. When you're young, you can kind of get over things, you discount things, your recovery's faster.
Yes.
As you get older, you get hurt. You're like, what is going on? This leg
Yeah.
won't work anymore, or whatever.
Yes.
That happened.
My leg just stopped working
Why are you laughing?
because it's true.
My leg just stopped working.
It just-
My leg's not working.
We
Great.
went to a workout,
It's
and
not
I'm going up
working
the
today.
steps, and I'm falling almost down the steps
I'm like,
because
what
my
is
left
going
leg
on?
wasn't
My
working.
leg's not working. I'm like, how does it just not work? I'm like, I'm not understanding. Your nerve was getting pinched.
It was getting pinched.
Oh,
Yeah,
and I
so
went
then-
to the chiropractor, and he looked at me, and he pulled his cigar, and he goes, "Oh my god!" Nobody fixed it. And it was what was interesting was, just the nerves, and a few things got out of whack, and how fragile your body is, but at the same time resilient. And I mean, if you you have to focus on that as you get older, or at any time, to maintain
Exactly.
that fitness level.
yeah.
So,
And we have a whole range of students there, right? So we've got, 16-year-olds up to like 70-year-olds practicing, maybe even a couple people that are older than 70,
Right.
all different ages, styles, body types, like you name it, different injuries and stuff coming in there. We've had several students that I know that have gotten off their blood pressure medications. There's several students that have, actually a lot of students that have mentioned they didn't know how bad they felt until they started feeling good.
right. Yeah.
yeah, because they probably just chalk it up to
This is just
This
how
is how
I
it
am.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
or you felt that way for so long.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
your normal.
Exactly. That's your normal. You don't even know how good you can feel because this has been your normal for so long.
Right.
The increased flexibility. There's one gal that got married. I don't remember how long ago now. She said it was like 30 years ago, and her wedding dress is too big. She's smaller than she's ever been, right?
yeah.
We've got several students that are on the recovery from cancer, and this has helped save their life. There's been several people that straight up were on the road to suicide and said that without like yoga and the hot room and this community that they would have killed themselves.
How has yoga changed the way? Has it changed anything else, like lifestyle stuff with you, like maybe diet or anything like that? Once you start to feel better and you go, I'm kind of poisoning my body doing this, or I don't know, or whatever. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. So one thing about the hot room is that if you eat garbage, you will vomit.
Ooh.
And that's kind of an
You
exaggeration.
have buckets next to everybody.
But like
Use the
it's-
buckets. They're there for
People,
a reason.
it's the buckets, people.
Yes, it's kind of an exaggeration, but
like a
it
Coming.
the better you eat, the better you feel inside
Right.
the room. So it does
Right.
help, and just like a workout. If you're gonna go to the gym and you eat Taco Bell on the way there, probably not okay.
So do they take bets in the very beginning? It's like $20. Kevin over there.
$20 this one's
Wanna
going
go?
down. The
Taco
day
Bell.
after Thanksgiving was funny because it was like people would come out of class and
man.
they'd be like, I had too much wine yesterday, or like I had way too much stuffing, or like I had just way too much food yesterday. That pumpkin pie, too much. And I'm like, you
I
know
bet
what
they
I mean?
sweat out toxins like crazy.
Yep. It's another reason why you feel so good.
Isn't that crazy?
There you go. It's at 96 and Keystone. You can
Yep.
go.
Yeah,
I might just do
It's
that.
right by our house.
it is right by your house.
The only yoga we've ever done is P90X yoga and then goat yoga.
Dude, P90X yoga is very intense.
Everything P90X is intense.
Yeah.
You ever done their ab workout? I was like, how do you do? They have to cut these shots. There's no way these guys are doing those movements out loud.
No, I did the plyometrics once, and this was a moment where my legs stopped working. I fell down the stairs because I took like 3 steps, and my legs literally just gave out, and I
Stopped
fell
working.
down the stairs.
So did you walk into the hospital and they go, let me guess, P90X?
Luckily, it wasn't
You're
like
the
a
third
full
person this
flight,
week.
but yeah.
What happened? P90X. Oh,
Right, yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, so you can do 30 days of unlimited classes for $39.
There you go.
Our intro month special.
That's actually pretty good.
It's very good.
I mean, for how you feel.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's amazing.
It's
I'm signing
oh my
you
gosh,
up
yeah.
today.
Do
Why don't
it.
you do it with me?
Holden has been wanting to do it forever. Get Holden in there.
Yeah, Holden has been wanting to do it forever.
Holden, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he should do it.
No,
Yeah.
I need to do it too. I'm just so impatient.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not even going to disagree with that.
Emily and I go to workout and you have to do 3 rounds. She's like, 5 minutes. Done. What's next? I'm like, what? She's juggling kettlebells. No, 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 no.
not true. No, I find it hard, which is why it would be so good for me to do it. I find it hard to, because there's so much that I think about when I'm doing something that slow, but I can't do anything about it.
Yes.
At that moment.
Exactly.
So like, whereas normally when I could do 3 things at once, like, you know what I mean? And like in the moment of yoga, what I found is that like all these things come to me like I have to do, and I can't do them.
No, Emily's, I remember when I think when we were first
That's the
married, I
beauty.
can't remember.
I know,
We
right?
were living in Granger, we were doing something, and we're out digging a ditch for some reason, and she's just killing it. Middle of summer, this is the greatest workout. I was like, this is torture. I was like, what are you talking about? It sucks.
Oh gosh, it's all how you view things.
Yeah.
I learned that very
Exactly.
young.
So going to yoga and say, this equals
I know, I need
5
to do it.
kettlebell juggles or whatever. I don't
I
know.
know. I know.
It
I need
seriously
to.
has made a world of difference. But I think being able to like I can take more classes with my job now because
Right.
before I was here 40
Yeah.
hours a week. So just being able to take more classes has been like I think that's where I was really able to start seeing another different type of shift. Like you go through different seasons and different phases, right?
Oh,
So
sure.
like
yeah.
that little one started and it was like, holy shit, you know?
Right. Does Eric do it with you or no?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, I didn't know if, I know. Yeah, I just didn't know if he had a chance to experience that yet or not.
I have been trying for years, and he just keeps telling me that he's not going to be able to handle the heat, and I'm like, well, that's part of it.
Right.
I tell you what, do
Like,
if he needs
it's a
a buddy,
challenge
if he needs a
for a
buddy to do
reason.
it with him, I'll do it with him.
Okay. He always talks about how Joe Rogan does it, and I'm like, yeah, get in there.
Okay, Joe Rogan. Let me tell you, Joe Rogan's an animal. Joe Rogan worked out so hard in his house, he set off the fire alarm. During Sober October 2 years ago,
Yes.
they were wearing these straps, and you had to get points based upon the amount of time
remember that.
you were in your peak range. And of course, he destroyed. But he's in his home gym, and he showed a picture of the window, and it's all fogged up. And he set off his fire alarm because he
my
was sweating so
God.
much. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing.
He is an animal. Yep.
Okay, well now I know what to get you for Christmas.
Now you're convinced.
I think I'd like to do that.
We do have a really special weekend coming up. If I'll
Okay.
just throw that
Throw
in
it
there.
in.
Sure.
That's this weekend. December 14th and 15th.
So Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, we
Saturday,
all
Sunday.
year we've been working with the Patachu Foundation, and we have a goal to raise as much money as we can, right?
Right.
So that weekend, we're kind of doing like it's called a throwdown for the Chow down. Hot yoga for hot meals.
Oh.
So it's uptown versus downtown to see which studio can raise the most money.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm on the uptown team, so we've got a bunch of extra classes on our schedule, allowing people to take more classes. If you bring in, if a monthly member or an annual member brings in a new friend as a guest and they buy an intro month, then we double what we normally donate. So an intro month normally we give $5.
Right.
If you purchase an intro month, we give $10 that weekend.
Oh, cool.
So we'll double that. People get unlimited guest passes for new students. You can donate online. You can bring in cash to see which studio can raise the most money. So Chow down, throw down for Chow down, and
Cafe Petachu, huh?
Cafe Patachu.
like it.
Big fan of Patachu.
Yeah.
Patachu Foundation. So yeah, we've been working with them all year, and I think we were like super, super, super close. I think we had a soft goal, and then we have like our exceed expectations goal, if that makes sense. And I think we're going for the exceeding expectations goal. So
That's cool.
That's great.
yeah,
That's awesome.
December 14th and 15th, it will be super awesome.
Very cool.
So you come
It's
in for a
fun to
class then
be-
and buy an intro month, the 14th or 15th.
Yep.
Okay.
Then we donate $10. It's really sweet, and that's it's the only time that we can be like competitive with each other, because like otherwise
sure.
yoga's not a competition, and it's really not. But now I can be like, let's destroy downtown. Namaste. You know, like,
Do you ever
you're going down. Love
Yeah.
you.
Right. It's not a competition, but do you ever, and this isn't competitive, but do you ever see practitioners, out, whatever, and you go, oh my gosh, that's amazing what they can do? Or are you kind of like, no?
Oh my gosh, all the time, all the
Right.
time. Especially with the classes that I have been teaching for like a very long time.
Right.
Seeing certain students like, I can't tell you how many people, I do handstand hops in all of my vinyasas and all of my sculpt classes, and because that's my shtick. I like handstands, right?
Right.
And it is phenomenal to see people's progress on those.
Wow.
The people that are consistent regulars of mine, and
Right.
their handstands are legitimately getting so good.
That's good. That's cool.
and
awesome.
and different poses that this guy couldn't touch his toes for 20 years, and now he can touch his toes. He's in the best shape of his life, you know?
Wow.
This one gal she said that she wasn't strong enough to go up into wheel, and now she can hold wheel longer than most people. And I'm like, look at you, like, look at this.
yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, like
great.
That's
literally
empowering
seeing.
too,
Oh, yeah.
and confident
Yeah.
building for people.
Yes.
that they take away from there. You know what I mean? That they can use everywhere in their life. I mean,
No,
that's
I
really
agree.
powerful.
I
The
think-
community and working like in a classroom, like with each other, like, and you really do feed off the energy of like everybody, and it's just,
That's cool.
it's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I find that feeling like when I'm at workout class with the girls.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like that's how you feel, is that you've known them long enough, you have this community.
Yes.
You know, so one, you're accountable. Like,
Yep.
you know, so then if you don't show up, you know what I mean? So like you have this accountability as well as then support. Like I could go to any one of them and be like, I'm
Doing this wrong?
No, I would not say that.
She does to me.
I do that
Listen,
to you.
Tried this.
Only you. She does that too.
Yes, only you. Although one time I did tell Jose, because I was just treating him like you, this is Tatum's husband, and he was doing, like, we were in one of our like stations. He went to pick up some pound weight, which probably could have been appropriate for him. I don't know. And I was like, oh no, Jose, put that down. Pick up the one over there that's much heavier. And I'm sure, like,
He was
I was
like,
just
okay.
like, okay. Tatum heard me. She's like, yeah, Jose, do what Emily says.
He's like, I'm getting it from both sides over here.
I
Thanks,
know,
girls.
and I was like, oh, and then it dawned on me. I was like, I was just teasing, but I was treating him like I would treat you. And I was like, oh, Jose, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, like, I was
Well,
just,
no.
it just blurted out. I was just teasing you.
That's
you know?
so
I joke about that, but it is good. I've told her recently. It's like, if you, because I've gotten hurt, I've tried to do too much weight or whatever. I was like, if you see some of these movements that aren't right, or let me know, because sometimes I'll try and do too much. But I'm thinking it's like a chest press, but it's not. So it's a weird movement, and you hurt your shoulder and things like that.
Yeah.
So
And then your arm doesn't work.
yeah,
And
your arm
then
doesn't
you're
work
going
too.
to have to go to yoga to get that to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
You're going to go into yoga, and Katie's going to be like, what's wrong this time? What's wrong this time?
What's
Right.
wrong
What's
this
wrong
time?
this time?
Just stand in the corner, do nothing.
I've Christina came in for a little bit.
cool.
Amber has a class back, so she pops in every once in a
That's
while.
awesome.
Elise came in for a little bit, so
That's awesome.
Elise just lives so far away.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, that's what I was mentioning, like,
Right.
with the locations, like, you've got to be able to get someplace without it being hard to do.
Exactly, and I think that Wherever you're comfortable, wherever you are feeling supported and you like the community and you're moving your body, okay, cool, do it.
Do it.
Obviously, if you live close enough to make the trek to the hot room, then come see us.
Yeah.
What do you think the max like distances people are willing to travel for something like that, like fitness? I mean, I'm sure gyms, they've done these studies, say, you know, our market is 3 to 5 mile, whatever it is. I wonder what that is. Like, what were people willing to tolerate in terms of commute time to get to something on a regular basis? It's got to be fairly short. I wouldn't drive downtown. I mean, if I live up here, I'd probably look for something closer to home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, a gym, probably pretty short radius.
Yeah.
You cannot get Original Hot or the Baptiste style anywhere else. So people drive 30, 40 minutes to us.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
okay.
I would say 30 minutes. I would think
Right.
would be a good, like, I think
Gauge.
you would be, yeah.
Yeah.
I think people could stay consistent with it at 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's further than I would think. But if you're going for, like you say, a gym, I wouldn't drive half an hour to LA
No.
Fitness. But
No.
if I were going to the community, a very specific purpose,
Yes.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you would miss it. What you end up doing is missing it. So, like, when you're like, how do you, like, don't you not want to go on Sundays? Because, and I'm like, no, I can't not go. Like, you know, because it's early in the morning. And you're like, you remember you were asking me about that? And you're like, why do you want to get up? He's like, yes, you wake me up every
Well,
single
actually,
morning.
what I'm asking is, why do I want to get up at 7 o'clock? Because literally, she's like, real quiet, out, you know, I hear the door slam, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. I can sit here and sleep. And then I hear the dogs barking downstairs, like, God dang it. So she gets up. This guy's got to get up. So what I'm really asking is,
And-
do I want to get up at 6:45?
And I'm like, I can't not go. Like, if you don't go, there's something missing.
Yes.
You know,
I get that,
and
yeah.
so like it's like you just, I don't know. It's not that you feel bad about not missing the workout. You do, but it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's more about that you feel empowered by
Yes.
being at the workout.
Yes,
Like,
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
And that's what you miss
Yes.
is the feeling of
You know, it's
empowerment.
interesting
Oh my
that-
gosh, yeah.
It's interesting you mention that because I'm listening to that book, Atomic Habits, and we're talking about systems versus goals, and that's part of your system, your process. Your goal is somewhat secondary. Your process is working out every week or every Sunday to get those reps in toward that ultimate goal, with that constant chase to excellence and perfection and your fitness goals. But it's not, you know what I mean? If you
Right.
say, I want to get to whatever this is, then it's once you reach the goal, then what? The system kind of falls versus if you say I want to be fit or whatever. To your point,
Right.
if I have to do it this time, this day, you know, on this day, to keep that process and system in place.
Have you heard or did you see all the ballyhoo about the Peloton commercial?
No.
Oh my God! Okay,
yeah.
they did.
Wait,
they
is this
did-
the annoying chick? Okay, guys, stay like 30. That one?
Well, no. Did you see the thing that Ryan Reynolds?
No,
put
but
together?
everybody's mad about it.
Why is everybody mad about it? I
Oh,
mean,
they're
I was
saying
mad
it's
about it because I thought the
patriarchal.
chick was annoying, but,
But
Well, they were
yeah,
saying-
they were saying that her husband was giving her Peloton because her husband bought it for her for Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. That was my response. But apparently all the
They
people
read a lot
out
into
there
the ad.
have like said that her husband was giving it to her to keep her from getting fat and stay in shape. And
'Kay,
instead
America.
of, I know, right? Instead of
Well,
it being that
this-
her husband was giving it to her so that
he cares about her health and well-being.
right. And why is that a
Basically.
bad thing? I
Also,
don't think
how
that's
do
a
they
bad
know
thing.
she didn't ask for it?
Right. Exactly. That's the whole
Well,
thing.
Ryan
And when I
Reynolds-
watched the commercial, though,
Ryan
when I
Reynolds
watched the
is
commercial, that's not the feeling I got at all. By watching her, I got the commercial. What I got from it was a feeling of empowerment.
Yeah.
Of feeling like, hell yeah, look what I just did. Not like, okay, I'm staying skinny for you. I feel good about myself for you. It wasn't about that at all. But they were putting all of that on what's
my
funny is it's a
gosh.
fake story. It's not even a real story.
They're not even
No,
married
it's-
people.
I know. They're not even married.
What's hysterical about that whole thing was that in an attempt to damage the brand, they actually made it larger.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, Peloton, great, yeah, whatever. Now you're going, that's huge.
Yeah, they
And
just
then-
helped. I mean, I get that.
And the girl that was in the video of the original ad cut an ad with Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Reynolds has a gin, and he has her the follow up ad. I mean, it's not Peloton related.
Yeah.
But she's sitting in a bar between two girls, and she's like going, "I'm safe" or whatever. And she's drinking a martini, and then she drinks another one, and then her friends are like, "Oh boy!" But they're pushing, but it's a spoof.
It's a spoof.
It's a
of
spoof,
that.
but I mean, it was
Yeah.
brilliant because I'm sure Reynolds saw that controversy. He goes, "I have a chance. I pull this unknown actor into do
Yes.
that." It was amazing, and that's guerrilla marketing at its finest.
I'll have to look at that.
It was hilarious.
That's
but
funny.
anyway, I was like, I didn't get that at all. Like,
No.
I don't understand what people were up on.
Some
arms
people, though,
about.
I think they're just looking.
No,
to be
but they're always
offended.
looking for something.
Yeah.
Tina said Peloton Commercial is crazy. I got a Packer riding lawnmower for my birthday once and loved it. Made my job easier.
Amen, sister.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it was just ridiculous. Anyway, it was
I love the
fascinating.
Peloton. It's great.
Erica mentioned wanting one. I'm not really into spin, but Eric
It's
enjoys
hard.
it.
It's hard. I mean,
Yeah,
20
it was
minutes,
good.
20, 30
I
minutes
like
will kill you.
there's certain instructors, they've got so many, but there's definitely like instructors that you can get, like where you're like, this person motivates me.
Right.
So like again, it's that feeling of feeling good about yourself when you're done. Like they make you feel good about yourself.
Yes, yeah.
Not all of them, because maybe somebody, how you're motivated by one person is different than
Sure,
another person.
yep.
But you can find those people on there where you're like, this person really makes me feel good about the fact that I got up, I did
Yes.
it. You know, who cares what your numbers are? You just got up, and why are you laughing? Because it's another thing I do in the morning.
No, she gets up in the morning at 5:30 and she'll do a class occasionally. And she's like, she's being real quiet, dun, 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 and she puts on the shoes and it's like, put them in the clips, like wham, wham. I'm like, well, I wasn't awake before, but I am now.
Well, we had to put it up in our room because otherwise
It's a
the
joke.
boys would like get, like use it and mess it up and all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff because everything breaks in my house. So nothing doesn't break in my house.
Nothing
Anyway,
does.
so I
Yes,
hid the
everything
Peloton
breaks.
up in
Everything
my
has
house.
everything has a finite life. It's just,
Yeah, it was hilarious.
It's not a
because
question of when it'll die.
His
if
one of
it
his
dies.
glasses that his dad had given him. It was like a beer glass or whatever.
Germany. It's like
It was
50
Germany.
years old.
Yeah, it's 50 years old. So it got broken yesterday somehow. We don't know how. It had a crack in it.
Because
He's
it's
like,
put in the dishwasher. It's an antique glass.
it was
I'll
hilarious.
go to the dishwasher.
He goes, and none of his stuff ever breaks. He goes, oh, one of the glasses broke. It broke. This thing's 50 years old. It broke. And I was like,
couldn't
welcome
process
to
it.
my world. I was like, everything breaks. Now, what he does to me is so kind, is so sweet and loving. He goes, and I'm being sincere about that. Something will break. The kids break something of mine that really means something to me or something like that. And he's like,
Yeah, okay,
I am
can we
going
tell
to,
the story?
don't tell that story yet. So I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm going to save a piece of it. It's fine. It's just an object. Like the sentiment, I can hold on to that feeling, whatever. I don't need the object. And so I've learned that over time living in my house.
You have to.
That I have. I mean, and so when that happened to him, I was like, do you want me to fix it? Can I put it back together for you? Do you want me to save a piece of it?
It's like the humor is lost. So anyway, the story was there was a plate that we bought at the Grace Gala when Trevor was in third grade, where they had taken all of his third grade class and they had asked what God means to you, and the kids had said a one or two phrase thing. Trevor's was
One word, one or two word
one or
thing.
two words. So one
Yeah.
was cornfields, and they'd taken this probably 12 by 9 plate. White plate, and they had written
Everybody's names
and their response.
Yeah.
So at the Grace Gala, we won this plate, and it's been on display, since Trevor, he's a senior, so 9-10 years, on the shelf.
He was in second grade, mind you.
Was it second grade?
Yes.
Second
All right,
grade.
second grade. Anyway,
I've had it a
we-
while.
We've
10
had it
years,
a long
10
time.
years.
Katie, it's a
Got
long
it.
time. It's
So-
a long time.
It's a long
I've had
time.
So Thanksgiving Day, the kids had taken a special interest in torturing yours truly here that day, just giving me hell all day. And
Somebody was running out of their room.
who was?
Holden was running out of his
Holden
room.
was running out of his room, and
he knocked on the bathroom.
No,
You were in the
I
bathroom.
was in the bathroom, and he starts banging on the door, to bug me. And of course, I'm in the bathroom, and you hear bang, 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 crash. I'm like, I was like, what was that? And I walk out, and the plate had fallen off of the shelf, 1,000 pieces.
Oh my gosh, because he hit the bathroom door so hard.
He's sitting there going, what? And
Yeah.
Oh, I was so upset.
she was so upset.
I was so upset. Part of it was because Trevor's word was cornfield. So which makes no
No
sense
sense.
whatsoever. But
Did
everybody
at the
else,
time.
everybody else was like, "What does God mean to you?" And they're like, "Friends" or
Love.
and Trevor's is cornfield.
Cornfield.
And so it was like just the fact that it was like so
Unique.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like totally him.
So I gather up all the pieces, and I go into the dining room, and I lay it all out, puzzle piece. She goes, you can't fix it. And I was like, I'm not going to try and fix it. I need it because I can have it duplicated. I think I know the person that did it. I can buy another plate, and if I put it back together and give it to them as an example, they could probably duplicate it. So that was the whole
No,
thing.
but so then I was like, it's not the same. Like, it's not the same. I don't need the object. Like, you know what I mean? And so what I found fascinating was that the one piece that Trevor's name, was cracked in probably 20 pieces. I don't know.
The plate was shattered.
Yeah. And his name, though, in cornfields was... So I saved just the little thing. I said, you know what? That's all that matters.
fine.
Is just that it has his name and cornfields on it.
Yes.
So I kept it.
And then you wiped your tears away.
And then I told Holden, I'm
This
so
is-
sorry, Holden. I got so
This
upset
is-
about
this
something
is a
so
story that
silly.
Emily doesn't know, but I still have the pieces upstairs somewhere. We were having...
Love it.
What else happened?
No,
Oh, my God.
okay,
See,
there
She
was-
doesn't know about this. Here we go.
Okay, so we were redoing our kitchen several years ago. they sent some Yahoo out to try and put the duct that goes up and out of the our stove.
Yeah.
The vent out the stove. And being the fine professional that he was, he used a Sawzall blade that was a bit too long and not for its intended purpose, and happened to go through the adjoining wall and knock a very antique plate off into 1,000 pieces. And he walked. He was like, "I think I hit it." And I was like, "Yeah, no kidding. You think you hit it, or did you just jump off and commit suicide? I'm just curious." This 90-year-old plate. Thanks, buddy. So I gathered it all up, and it's still upstairs in a bag in my drawer somewhere. I'd intended to try and
Put it
back together, and see if I could find a duplicate, and I never could.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
My mom would
But
say.
I promptly called the company and says, "This guy can't come back here.
Yeah.
I've only got so many plates in the house."
My mom would say, "Don't you want it?" Because she would give us Christmas money or money for your birthday or your anniversary or whatever. And she would say, "Don't you want to buy something nice for yourself?" It's like, no, I really don't, because it'll get broken.
It's going to be broken anyway.
I just don't. Like, why even bother?
Yeah.
We had Yadros that don't last long.
I put them away now because
They don't last.
they just don't last.
One
It is
time
what
we
it
had
is.
a lady cleaning our house. I'll never forget this. I'm downstairs in the kitchen. Do, 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 do. I'm like, what in God's name? And I walk up there, and
was all in a
a
million
frame
pieces.
had fallen.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it just is what it is,
So.
So I've gotten over it for the most part.
You have to have things in cabinets or simply put away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I mean, it won't last.
Yeah.
We used to
I'm
break
excited
stuff all
for
the time. I mean,
Do you do you have that feeling too, like when something breaks? Like if it's something like of
Yes. Actually,
Yeah.
when we were moving, I had this rose from my grandma's grave that I had taken off her casket and dried it.
right?
And it made it through like 4 different moves, and this was the move that it broke.
oh,
And of course, pregnant, hormones. So we're loading up the final things, and I was very careful. I took it out. I put it in my cup holder so that no one would touch it. It wouldn't touch anything. And then all of a sudden,
Eric took a cup of coffee.
I like leaned over, but I'm not used to the belly yet.
Oh, no.
So I leaned over, and my own stomach took the top of the rose right off.
Oh no.
And of course, I go back in holding just the stem and sobbing.
Crying. Yeah,
Not even not even crying, like sobbing, like just holding the stem. And Eric's like, "Oh God, Katie." And I'm like, it broke. He's like, "All right, it was a dried out rose. Like it was only a matter of time. Like
Right.
it sucks that it was from your grandma's grave, but like it's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right. Like you're gonna be just fine." And it took me like 15 minutes to like come back down from that.
It is. I've kind of taken the approach of when it goes, that's when it's meant to go. That's kind of like what I've decided is that like
Right.
when something like that
Right.
goes and it's no longer in your life, it's not meant to be in your life.
It's not meant to
And
be.
it's okay that it's not in your life.
Yeah.
And you don't need it necessarily to give you that, whatever
Right.
it was giving you,
And
kind
I
of
still
thing.
have like
So
some blankets and stuff that she made.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I just was very
It's so hard
It's
though.
so
Yeah.
interesting. I think the thing that I just thought about this.
You made it like 10, 11 years, 12 years?
That's pretty impressive.
Mom, are you still watching? How many years?
The things that upset me are not things that break, like individual things. Like I remember one time we were moving a couch down to the basement or something, and we scratched the hardwood floors in the very top of the steps. I'm like, God dang it! You know how long it took me to do those freaking floors, and now they're scratched and it's that kind of stuff.
You to do those floors. What about me?
I did the foyer. Thank you very much.
You did help with the floors. You were good then. We
No,
made
you did
do a
help put
lot
on
of
the
stuff.
floors that shrunk about 70% of their size.
The
after
theme of
that.
Harrison's life is treated older than you actually are. I mean, we like
right.
basically, like I would always think of him perpetually as an adult maybe. I don't know. I just like,
Is that true, Harrison?
Well, I did watch Cover for the first time as like a 9 or 10-year-old.
yeah, I think so.
Watch
I think I
what?
pretty much did.
I didn't hear you say.
I watched Trevor.
Oh, you watched Trevor.
I
Yeah, yeah.
remember thinking when he was, what was it, 3rd grade when I was crying about your test grades?
Yep.
Yeah, 3rd grade. I was like, you can't do this to me. Your dad's gone. I need you to do well in school.
3rd grade. That's hilarious.
He's like, going, what?
I don't understand.
This goes on your permanent record.
I was like, nowadays, I'm like, I don't really care until you get to high school. Just make sure you don't get kicked out of school and I don't get any phone calls from any teachers.
No,
Yes.
but to our credit though, with your first child, I do think that you simply don't know what you're doing. So as you have subsequent children, like now we know, like say grades for instance, they have to make up their mind to do well. I can counsel them and say, but I can't force you to get good grades. And
It wasn't the technique taken on me.
I think
eventually it
learned
was.
from
Eventually
you.
it
But
was.
Harrison, by 9th grade, then you did, because of who he is and who he's become, he did make it easier for his siblings. So the fact that it was that as we didn't worry so much, and of course work had a lot to do with that because I had to think about work. I wasn't able to be mentally involved in his crap all the time.
You're garbage.
I could not monitor him. Like, I don't even know what their grades are. Like, I don't do any of that anymore. But when he was growing up,
Has
I found a
Harrison
great parent.
been
I
home
know.
last month? It is July.
That's the last time I saw him.
But it did, and he turned out okay, and he had his own self-responsibility and his self-management, and it was okay. And that made me realize it is okay.
Well, at the end of the day, I do think you have
micromanage
to
them.
You do have to prioritize and say, in the grand scheme, does it matter if he got a B? Does it matter? Does it really matter? I mean, ultimately, are they good people? Are they good adults? I mean, that's really what I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely.
So you can stress about things that don't really matter in the grand scheme.
Yeah. We talk often if we're going to be good parents or not. And his thing was like, well, it really doesn't matter. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, we don't get our parent report card for at least 20 years when they're in therapy. So
right.
we just won't know for 20 years if we did a good job or not. And I was like, oh, that's so true, isn't it?
We'll be nearing retirement.
Right.
What's this bill, Eric?
No, you guys are going to be
you'll
great.
be fine.
And I think moms lean on sons. I think that was another thing more. Like, you lean on them more as like a thing. Like, I don't know, like when you were gone and it's
like a Little House on the Prairie episode. But Harrison, you have to go plant the crops.
Yeah, like, you're like, Harrison, you're going to need to do this or this or this, because you're not around because you were traveling doing the claims and stuff. And so then you're leaning on somebody else.
I was only gone for like 30 days. I'm going to Europe. I'm joking.
It doesn't matter.
I'm joking.
When you're working full time, have 3 kids and pregnant with a 4th kid, you lean on somebody, and that just happened to be him.
That was a bad joke. All right, sorry.
So,
proceed.
Yeah. As you were by yourself
things are
in
coming
Florida.
up here.
No, I'm just kidding. No. So, yeah, there's all that. There you
You
go.
did great, Harry.
Thanks,
all the boys are fantastic. They are great. They don't make the best bed buddies, as we discovered last night, as Calvin slept soundly all night long.
He doesn't disturb you. He just disturbs me.
He does disturb me. He reaches over and is like, "Oh, that's your dad's face." 5 o'clock in the morning. Yes, that's my face, bud. Thanks for waking me up.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I was actually talking about that last night because the dog always lays sideways on the bed, right? So they gotta cover most of the bed sideways. So I always work around them because I want to cuddle with them. And Eric was like, "Why do we have a king size bed if I only have a foot of it?" And I was like, just wait.
You're right.
Until this kid is crawling into bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, that's not going to happen. I was like, I guarantee.
And our bed,
our daughter comes in there and is like, I'm scared. He's going to be like, come here, girl. Come here.
Yeah, exactly. He is going to be that way.
Yeah.
Yep, it just happens.
Yep.
What is it's because you're a light sleeper?
You mean that I wake up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Once I'm awake, too, I can't go back to sleep.
Yeah, that's me lately.
No, but he slept. He needed to sleep. He had a very busy weekend, up late, 2 nights. So we were glad that he could get his rest in.
He was a dancing machine on Friday.
Yeah,
dancing machine Friday night.
Very well.
Did not stop.
Dance party.
He had cookies for dinner and went to bed late.
Cookies for dinner. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So, anything else going on you want to discuss?
How much you miss us all here?
Yes. I always dream about being able to come in and do a dental a week, but that's just not feasible.
A dental a week.
Yeah.
You can come in and get your fix.
Really?
Sure. Why not?
I miss dentals, and I miss drawing blood, and I miss
Really?
IV catheters placements. And I miss the challenge of medicine.
Challenge, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
the challenge of medicine for sure.
That's
For
cool.
sure.
Well, we miss you too. Of course, we always enjoy having you around. So,
Yeah.
All right, I visit on a regular basis.
I'm glad you do. Glad you
How
do.
far away do you guys live now?
Fountain Square. So
Oh wow, ways away.
yeah, it's a ways away. But
Do you like living downtown?
it's really cool, but it's definitely an adjustment. At night, upstairs in our bedroom, you can see Lucas Oil Stadium and the downtown skyline, and
That's
that is
cool.
just what?
Yeah.
But it's,
I've always thought
it's
that
cool.
downtown, because I used to have a rental house down sort of near there on 8th and Tacoma and 9th and LaSalle. It wasn't a great part of town back then.
Maybe not now.
Let's say I had a furnace burglarized from the one of my houses down there. But yeah, I always thought that there's so many areas in downtown We were driving down there this past weekend to see a concert that have so much potential. I mean, that they could take and transform and just make them absolutely magnificent. And I hope that they continue to go in and redevelop some of those areas because I think it's they could do a lot with it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that in Fountain Square right now.
Right.
There's 3 like regular builders that I know that are like either renovating or building new houses. So there's a lot of newer houses in Fountain Square.
You know what's fascinating? Those historical areas too. Like you'll see older homes, and you'll think that's a 100-year-old home. That must have been absolutely amazing, and just top of the top back in 1900 or whatever. Because I mean, they're magnificent today.
Yeah.
You know, so I wonder what they must have looked like back then.
Right.
So.
It'd be really cool. Yeah. So I like being able to, especially with the teacher training things, those will probably primarily be downtown. So being able to like really close and then come back. Also just getting out of our comfort zone on so many different levels, you know, like switching careers, having a kid and then moving downtown. I just kept the adventure ball rolling.
Yep. Keep it going. Keep it.
So,
yeah.
cool. It's really cool to live downtown for sure. Yeah, we're thoroughly enjoying it.
Well,
I think there's something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Harrison, throw me one of the stocking hats. Well, we appreciate your time today.
Yes,
hanging
thanks
out
Thanks
with
for
us.
having me.
And as always, I enjoy my time spending time with you and visiting with you and catching up and everything. So we'll have you on again, absolutely. But everybody, don't forget to visit the merch store.
It's not cold today, but it is getting colder. It is Central Indiana.
He's nice. I can't turn the right way.
There's nothing worse than
Long sleeve, soft canvas.
having a cold noggin.
Cold noggin. You heard
go
it here
throw that
first.
You can have one.
I
Do you have
can.
one? Do you have one yet?
I
You
don't have one.
There you
Hey,
go.
wait, tag a toboggan for your cold noggin.
Why is my head so small? That's the problem.
Toboggan
we have
for
here.
your
Which
cold
way
noggin.
does this need to go?
There's your tagline.
Did you hear
So
Nope.
a
toboggan for your cold noggin.
Toboggan for my cold noggin.
Yeah, there you go. Because we had this whole conversation about what hats are called, stocking hats or toboggans.
Oh.
So then we came
In South, they're called, and Emily's like, it's a stocking hat. So I called my buddy once after I moved to Indiana. And I said, hey, what's that thing you put on your head when it gets cold and, has a puffy thing on the top? He goes, oh, a toboggan. I was like, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm not crazy.
So visit the
Just call it a winter hat.
ASPCAmerch.com store. Check out the toboggans for your noggins.
The toboggans for your
Shirts, long sleeve shirts.
noggins.
We got some short sleeve shirts on there.
Socks.
Harrison, throw me some socks.
I wore my socks yesterday.
Well, they might be.
They might
soon.
be.
Throw them over here. You don't
In
have
my
them.
office. Go grab me a pair in my office.
Oh, okay. So
Again, Harrison just doesn't quite make it.
doesn't quite. Yeah.
Just really.
Turn on some rage.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if part of that's also just pregnancy. My body is just like, you don't need the rage anymore.
You don't.
You know?
You're so like with it and calm and able to control.
Wait, can you repeat that and tell that to Eric? Please.
Listen, as long as he doesn't go buy any dishwashers, refrigerators, or appliances, you're gonna be.
I
good.
know. We're sticking to that. He bought he bought something the other day.
Your
And he
spending
was
limit's
like-
300. Just don't forget it.
He said,
although it should go up after you have a baby. Just warn him.
our spending limit should go up after a baby.
Yeah, you should tell him that you don't want it to. He's allowed to. I think he should be allowed to. Just a little bit.
No,
a tad bit.
she's gonna come home and go,
Oh,
we
he's
can't do our clothes, but we have 3 dishwashers over here.
You're allowed to spend over 300.
Oh,
you
yeah,
just have to
ask.
tell the other
You
person.
have to tell the other person. That's
He
right.
spent $297 on something the other day, but I can't even remember what it was now.
that's
Several
strategic.
months ago, and he was like, "It wasn't 300."
Oh, and he's getting
So I
into
didn't
semantics.
I didn't have to ask
I would,
you.
I would define what tell means. It's the smoke signals. I told you. You just weren't looking.
So
Yeah.
here's our handy dandy socks. They're super soft, as a lot of staff members have told me today.
Yeah, a lot of them wearing it.
They feel good.
They're really
they feel good.
They kind of like a foot massage for your foot.
It's got a nice compression to it.
That's what. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like massagey for your
Really?
foot.
What
Yeah.
brand are they?
They're from this company called Divvy Up.
Divvy Up. All
Did I
right.
say that right, Harrison? I think I did. They did a great job. They got us to them. They got the socks to us in a timely manner. They have our logo on them,
Yeah.
so very good.
And the
Good
toes
job,
are blue.
company. Yeah. So there you go.
Way to
Got
go,
those
Harry.
too.
They look good.
Way to outperform.
So until next time on Five Boys in a Business, we'll see you next Monday. Don't forget to check out all the podcast links in the merch store. And thank you very much again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Love you. And
love
we'll
you.
see you next Monday. Dr. King here, Emily here.
Richie King here. We're out.